Greetings, Bad Warriors. Greetings. Greg is here. Grateful to have you back on. We talking about life. We talking about what? Healing. We talking about just about everything you can talk about, especially the shit that matters. Actually, we don't talk about a lot of things that a lot of people do like to talk about and be distracted by. I feel like we try and talk about the things that truly matter, the things that are really going to impact our lives. What's going to make the biggest difference in your life? Right? Talking about politics, talking about the sports, or is it talking about what's going on in here? What's going on in here? What's going on in your life, like your personal life? And it seems like a lot of people are scared about that, which brings me to tonight's topic. Playing it safe. Do you play it safe? How hard do you play it safe? Right, as I just saw 1111 come up. I was thinking about that today. Playing it safe. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that play it safe in life. Somehow they forget that we all have the same destination in this life. And yet, fear, the perception of fear can paralyze you to where you just, you play it safe. Life is something you got to play safe. Can't take any risks, right? Can't challenge anything. Can't face the fear. Can't mitigate danger and still try some difficult things. And yet, if you were to fast forward in your life towards the end, if all you did was play it safe, what would you have to talk about? Would you just be like, yay, I made it to being old. I played it safe, though. I have really no stories that I can remember. All I did was play it safe. Right? I guarantee you would never watch a television show or a movie, a book. You wouldn't engage in any of that. I mean, even sports has drama to it. If there wasn't an aspect of facing fear, overcoming adversity. Because if someone was faced with a challenge and you're watching a movie, every time they get faced with a challenge, they say, you know what, I'm not going to do that. Let's just go home and make dinner. Right? Instead of when you see people do like death-defying things, it's inspiring. Because even if you were to do something that was like very challenging for you, fearful, terrifying for you, and even if you were to come this close to death, and get on the other side of it, would you be better or worse on the other side of it? If you ask me, I think you would be a fucking way better. How would you be ever worse? That's where the growth happens, is when we face our fears, when we face the things that we fear, the things that get us uncomfortable. And yet it's like, I talk to so many people. There's so many people out there. Yes, that even kind of brings some stress to me, because it's not even stress to me. It's just like, if you only knew, if you only knew how simple it is to get unstuck. It literally just takes like doing things, not monumental things. Sometimes monumental is cool, right? If you really need to shock your system, like, a big pattern interrupt where you've been playing it safe for far too long, and you do something like really bold and courageous, face a major challenge or fear in your life, and you come out the other side, even if barely you come out the other side, but you do, you're not the same person. You'll never be the same person, because you have that in your back pocket when the next thing comes up and the next thing. But it seems like we're so risk adverse that people are just constantly trying to like avoid anything that is difficult. Why is that? Why have we gotten that soft that people want to avoid anything that's difficult? Why are we people that would rather have an excuse? Well, I'm waiting for this or that. It's like if you were someone that wanted to get in shape, you wanted to get in better health, and it's like you heard what I said. It's something you say you want, but then if I was to probe deeper, I would say, okay, well, why don't you start tomorrow? Well, I don't have time, and you don't understand. I have all this like, there's just going to be all these things that you throw out there. And the thing is if you don't start tomorrow, it's the chances of you ever starting continue to get reduced. Because I think it's even more important that if it's something you want to do, that you make it happen, regardless of what it is. It may not be exercise. It may be moving to a new town, getting a new job, ending a bad relationship, applying for a new job, breaking up with an addiction. Like why do we do that? What is it about people that say, I got to wait till the stars align? I got to wait. You know what? It's just, I'm waiting for this thing to be done with, and then I'll have more time. It's like, no, you won't. No, you won't. Like if it's on your mind right now, that now is when you start it. If even just a little bit, right? If you just start with little tiny steps towards whatever it is that you're thinking of. And most people will be like, oh, well, those little steps are meaningless. And it's like, no, they're not. The biggest step you can ever take is finishing the starting line of something new. Did you hear that? It's kind of a word fuckery. Finishing the starting line of something new. For you to actually cross the starting line is the biggest step. But I'm promising you, thinking about the thing, watching videos about the thing, studying about the thing, reading about the thing, thinking about the thing, none of that is doing the thing. You have to do the thing to start it. You have to do it. This is about doing. It's about action. Life is all action based. That's why you're given this body to like move about. If you just want to be stationary, right, you could probably just be yeah, I mean, the truth with that though, Eric, is when people set the bar too high, that's actually something I cover. Here comes another one of those uncomfortable things. He's selling an incredible 1% better everyday journal. So that I actually do a whole class on self-sabotage, and that's one of the many ways that we self-sabotage is when you set the bar too high, so you can't achieve it, so that you can prolong it and procrastinate and never do it, right? It's a self-sabotaging pattern and belief, which again, if that's something that you struggle with, no hate, no shame, no guilt. It's just like you're with the masses. You're not alone. I can tell you that much. If you struggle with procrastination, self-sabotage, self-abandonment, self-medication, self-destruction, right? You're with the masses of people right now. The majority of people are doing that at one level or another, guaranteed. I had someone ask me this yesterday. How do you know this? It's just like, it's an energetic thing. If you look into the world, here's how you know this. Here's how I know this. Let me say that. Let me be more specific. The way that I know that more than half of the people on this planet are still in self-sabotaging, apathetic, complacent, procrastinating, a state of beings, is because when you look at the state of the world, when you look out on the world, is the world optimistic, advancing, growing, healing, moving in a positive direction? Or does it look like the fucking shit hits the fan even harder every single day? Guess what? What you see in this world is a reflection on what's going on inside of you. So when I look out there and I see that the shit's still hitting the fan, it's like, yeah, more than half of the world population is still internally conflicted within themselves. However, what's sad is that massive majority of people on this planet, because this isn't just, I'm in the US, but this ain't just a US problem. It's all around the world, all around the world. This is a human problem, not a, a certain country problem, which is really what ties us all together. We all have a shared purpose. And it's seen, like, if you've ever been fascinated by like this ancient aliens, or you watch the ancient cultures and you wonder, man, how did they do this stuff? And then it's interesting that there's so much synchronicities, throughout the world from these ancient civilizations. And you're like, how are they talking? How are they connecting? There were like transportation. Did that even exist? Weren't they walking? How did they all do the same things? And it's because they were just way more tapped in energetically, intuitively, and because they didn't have all that external distraction, they were way more connected with what? Right there in front of them, right there under their feet, right there in front of their eyes, but not the chaos, right? It was much more harmonious. Not to say there wasn't levels of chaos, because again, the measure is over half, over 50%. But yet so many people are still playing it safe, but you're really not even playing it safe. You're just being scared. You're scared. Right? That's what playing safe is, right? Being scared. And what's sad is, like, you saw a big psyop. I call it a psyop, right? This whole pandemic thing we went through, that was a total psyop. I mean, did people get sick and die? Yes. Do people every single day, 186,000, get sick and die? Yes. But the fact that they were able to control massive amounts of the population and get people to turn on people for not what I would call bending the knee, surrendering, right? That's problematic, man. It's problematic to see how manipulated people became out of what? Fear. It was just pure fear. And it was based on what? You were told. You did what you were told. And there's still people that are apologetic about that. Trying to talk about how, oh, well, I just made the best decision based on the most reliable information out there. It's like, nah, man, I knew the reliable information, and it wasn't coming from, anybody that was a talking head back then. It had to come from your heart, man. Your heart, your head, being connected. Again, when we went through that, I was sober. I was clear-minded, working on myself, healing, still down this path. But I saw it, man. I saw it clear as day. I was like, nah, I'm going to pump the brakes on this shit. And I didn't live in fear. It was like, fuck. This time, 5 years ago, June of 2020, man, I was in the midst of like probably one of the funnest adventures of my life thus far. Not forever, though. I know there's even better adventures coming. But that was a fun adventure, man. I did a lot of traveling in those good old days. But that's because I didn't understand all the fear. I was like, oh shit, they're shutting everything down. All I saw was freedom. I saw freedom, not fear. I saw freedom. I said, oh wow, I'm ready to go travel. I'm ready to go travel, go hiking, go camping, just be wild and free. Enjoy. And that's exactly what I went and did. It was an incredible time. And I still do it now, but not to that extent. So to get back to that level is in the works. But how do you play it safe in life? What is something that you're doing, playing it safe, which is really just you're scared? And is like being, I'm not trying to put down being scared. Because it is a real feeling. I know I have had to heal a lot of terror and fear in myself. Having, and where does that come from? So when I grew up, when I was born, my biological father was already like super physically, mentally, emotionally violent towards my mother. So she was already passing on stress hormones to me before I was even born. And then once I was born, it just got crazier and crazier. That dude was pretty fucking medieval with some of the shit. And so when you're that small, what that plants is that the world's not safe, right? Whatever I was born into, it's not safe. So I've walked around. So what I'm trying to say is really anything that I speak on, I really do feel I have a firsthand experience that qualifies me, not just because I've experienced it, but because where I'm at now, I can see it so clear. It makes sense to me as to how something that long ago, before I was even born, and even just in those first 5 years, how the things that happened that long ago still show up in micro doses today. And it's like, that's where most people, you're oblivious. Y'all are just caught up in the hype and the bullshit and the distractions of whatever the hell's going on that you have no control over. And it's crazy that the things you don't have control over have control over you. Ooh. Ain't that a fucking hard truth? Things you have no control over, they means you call it the matrix. The system has figured out a way to have control over you. And primarily they want what? Control over your mind. Right? How you think, how you act. It's pretty interesting. I'm not a political person anymore, but I watched the interview with Joe Rogan and Bernie Sanders. And it was just interesting to hear, like, they had a good conversation, but it was interesting to hear where the politician, Bernie, right? He was defending things that he didn't have factual evidence of. So it's just ideological, like, I have to be against this thing. I don't even know why, but I'm just against it. And it was cool to hear Joe Rogan sort of like doing a really good job to like stand his ground and like hold him accountable. But it could have even have been more. It could have been even more because the dude, and that's just what's so wrong with the minds, our minds right now, is our minds right now are so filled with fear. We're so filled with deception, propaganda. I mean, to put any stock right now into politics, political issues, I mean, when I say put stock, meaning for you to put any energy, any focus towards it, it's like you are not doing yourself any favors because it's not going to do you any favors. It's literally robbing you of your life force energy. And this is the root of so much that I see in this world. Beautiful people just totally at odds with people based on what someone else has told them to hate, what someone else has told them to fear, right? It's like, it's pathetic to hear how brainwashed. It almost appears like people are literally brainwashed right now. On both sides, on all sides, right? On all sides. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm not talking, I don't back up conservatives. I don't back up fucking liberals, progressives, none of them. None of them. None. There's no answers in division, right? You cannot be divided against yourself. It will fail. And that's what has happened. And who does that benefit? Right? The powers that be. The powers that be want people to be divided with themselves. They want you to be conflicted with yourself because you've been programmed to believe something, and you have to keep believing it and keep believing it and keep believing it and keep believing it. As crazy as it gets, you've just checked out your critical thinking and your just neutrality. And yet it's causing people a lot of mental meltdowns right now, mental breakdowns, which is good. I'm really happy to see that, because that's what people need. They need to hit those rock bottom moments mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. That's what needs to happen. I mean, that's what happened to me, right? That's what it took for me. It took me hitting rock bottom. If I didn't hit my rock bottom, I would have still been walking around with my pride and my confrontation and always having to be right and always wanting to argue and debate people about dumb shit. Dumb shit that has never served my life. I'm just holding on to information and wanting to fucking fight people about it. It's like, what? That's not it. Wrong answer. And I had to hit a rock bottom. And I'm grateful to see a lot of people going through their same dark nights of the soul. That's what some of this shit is. Some people are holding on though for dear life to these beliefs. It is so wild to see how manipulated, and it's just all based in fear. And the reason why I get down, but not energetically, it's just like, fuck. Because I can see the like the divine in every person that I encounter. I see that spark in there, even if it's just whatever the fucking shit is that they're trying to represent and fight for. It's like, oh man, fuck. I felt judgmental the other day. I was at this public event, and there was protesters, and this one lady she was a big lady. She was just a really unhealthy lady. And the sign that she was holding, she had a mask on, right? So she was still wearing a fucking COVID mask. And she had a big sign, and so she was hiding her face behind it, but you could see her body. And like, this was a big sign, but she was bigger than the sign. And the thing that the sign said was something like, you know, starving 1 million children is never a political issue or something like that. But it was just like the contrast in this country, right? I'm speaking here from the US, and it's like 40% of our people are obese. And for us to be, you know, for a protester to be really, really obese, holding up a sign talking about millions of starving children for whatever the issue is, it's like, man, it's like, it is exactly the state of affairs where we have really big, huge, heavy, fat people that clearly cannot control their appetite, right? It's not, and right, a lot of people get insensitive. Oh, metabolism, this and that. It's like, man, we have eating disorder in this country. Our food is poisoned, right? The food is poisoned. It's addictive. That's the problem, right? Is the food is highly addictive. All of the fast food, all of the processed food, like if you don't think that shit has chemicals in there, just like anything else that is getting you to be addictive, where it's like you need the sweet, you need the savory, you need the fatty, you need all this other shit they have in there you can't even pronounce, that who knows what it's doing to you, but it's clearly not a net result of better health. The whole convenience of quick access food has destroyed our health. Number one killer is heart disease. Number one killer, heart disease. Number two is cancer. And that just, I couldn't get that image out. I almost took a picture of it, but I just was like, I just did my best to just ignore it. That's what I needed to do. But it got brought up here because I don't understand why people feel that holding a sign for hours, right? 3 hours, like 4 hours. It was all day. This person sat behind the sign all day, super overweight, advocating for how millions of children starving is a some kind of political issue thing. And I was just like, it was just, it speaks of the hypocrisy. It speaks on how broken we are. That we would rather hold a sign that literally like that we can't even truly stand behind with our own. It's one thing to be advocating for starvation, malnutrition, and being a really healthy person, being an advocate for health and wellness. But when you're huge and you're holding this sign, and I talk about it, it's funny because I talk about it here all the time. I ask the question, if you could choose one of these things, and I use the same thing, 1,000,000 children. That's an interesting connection there. I always ask, if you had a choice between these two things, what would you choose? You could save 1,000,000 children from abuse. That's the example I use here. Or you become your higher self. What would you rather do? And a lot of people say 1,000,000 children. Right? I need to save 1,000,000. Wait, I could save 1,000,000 children from abuse? Well, I would rather do that, than be my highest self. What does that even mean? To be my highest self, what does that even mean? Now, aren't I already the best that I can be right now? If you can figure out that puzzle and why the right answer is to be your higher self versus to save and spare 1,000,000 children, if you can figure out that puzzle, yeah, me and you are on the same page. If that puzzle is like, wait, what? Why wouldn't I would want to do that? See, the whole thing is when you want to, when you are given an option to save 1,000,000 children, your whole guilt complex comes up, which tells me that there's probably something that you experienced that you haven't dealt with in yourself, because you don't want, because when I say abuse, you're thinking of what, even if subconsciously you're thinking and feeling what you went through, and you would definitely not want someone else to have to go through that. However, see that you have you're why are you ignoring the narrative? The true narrative is this: you chose your experiences on this planet. And if you don't believe that, if you're like, that's bullshit, fuck that, I'm a victim, you don't understand how terrible it is, the things I experience. I get it. Yeah, at the human 3D level, yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible. But for whatever reason, before you became the human and you were in your light body, you were sitting there looking at a menu of options that you can experience on Earth that you would need to evolve your soul, and you ordered whatever the fuck it is you experienced. And if that makes sense to you, we're on the same page. Good evening, my brother. Right? But if you don't get that, then that's fine too. Carry on. Carry on. I am crystal clear with everything that I am expressing right now. I have zero doubt that what I am saying is truth. It is a reality. Do I know it all? No. There's mystery. There are some mysteries that I have yet to be shown. I probably won't see them till later. But these things is what lines up the most. that we sit there in our light body. We understand what our soul needs to go through. We also understand what role we play on this planet. See, that's the other thing, right? Your soul needs to experience something, but also you experiencing those things and thus healing yourself, you also play a larger role to the collective human evolution on this planet. That's a whole nother process that we sign up for and say, hey, fuck, I've done this way too many times, but sign me up again for that motherfucking ride. Let's go. We do it. And then when you're here, you forget it until you get to this place. And if you're listening right now, if you're here and you're tuned in and you're starting to look in your mirror and you're doing the work, like, yeah, this is what's going on. You are going through your spiritual awakening. You are awakening from the blindness and the illusion of your human experience. You're knowing that, wait, it's not just this human experience. And it's like the web, the whole web is the whole world. It's like not just, it's all orchestrated. As crazy and chaotic as it can seem, there's a harmony to it. There's a perfection to the chaos. It's beautiful. But yet, no, we freak out. Oh man, millions of children, starvation, this, that, fight, hate, And it's like, I'm not sure about how I used to be, right? The iron fist, man, hate, whatever it took, man, confrontational like no other. And I know that all that did was bring me more suffering, more confusion, and more disconnection from my true self. Right? Because I was living vicariously through issues, through other people, through celebrities, through athletes, through politicians, all kinds of shit, through the whole country, just vicariously, fragmenting myself. That's what we do. Right? We fragment ourselves. This is a word, you'll probably hear me say this a lot more because that's I'm understanding how all this comes together. And it's like we fragment ourselves as we put ourselves out there with all these issues. And what we need to do is you have to pull yourself back together. You have to refragment yourself. You have to go and get these pieces back to reconstitute the wholeness and the completeness that you are at the soul level. At the soul level. And it starts in the mind, right? It starts in the mind. None of this is capable without having a very, very, very clear mind and a commitment to see this through, to truly see how far you can go. I mean, I'm obsessed with this process. And that's what's gotten me this far. And has it been easy? No. It's not easy. It's painful. But I was encouraging myself, which is a big part of this process, right? Like if you can't show up for yourself, like no one's showing up for you. And even if they do, it's only temporary. You are the only person that does 24/7, 365, right, with yourself. Right? You could be married for 50 years. You ain't doing no 365, 24/7. I was married 21 years. I slept next to the same woman for 21 years. I never knew what she was thinking. I never knew how she felt unless she expressed these things. And so at the end of the day, you got to show up for yourself. And that's how I've been showing up for myself right now. Cause it's like, fuck. I think Adam kind of started, like, I hear about final bosses. I know who talks about that. There's a gamer. I think Hormozy's a big final boss guy. But Adam talks about the final boss. I've been starting to talk about the final bosses, right? And it's just like, I had to like cheer myself up today to be like, dude, don't be so hard on yourself. And I'm telling you right now, don't be so hard on yourself. You're taking the hard road, but it's the righteous road. This is the solar path. This is the road to take. The easy road leads to great suffering. The hard path leads to freedom, expansion, healing and growth, love, joy, peace, and light, transformation. And so I had to like cheer myself up, be like, dude, you realize, bro, right? You realize you're taking the hardest fucking path, bro. Don't beat yourself up, dude. Like, you're doing good. You're doing really good, bro. Don't beat yourself up so hard. Right? You're on the hard fucking path, bro. Most people are here. Here's where most people are. Most people want to play it safe because they're scared. They're scared. And there's parts of you that get scared because you're taking this hard path. And much of the hard path is done in singularity, if not physically, energetically for sure. And that's what makes it even more challenging. But the beautiful thing is that I truly do believe we are starting to assemble slowly and surely as people start to awaken. You know, communities, tribes are being formulated. This is one to where there's an opportunity for you to not have to do it alone. Completely. There's a lot of shit you got to do on your own, though. You got to do a lot. You have to have a willingness to say, it's all on me. I'm putting everything on me. No more victim. Put it on my shoulder. Face every challenge, right? Face the fear. Even knowing, right? So many people play it safe, and it's like, you would be so much better even if you came this far from dying. You would have the most incredible story to tell, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you have the most incredible story to tell if you faced a fear, you faced a danger, you faced a big challenge, and you got this close to dying, like, and you came out the other side? It's like you would have the most incredible story. Versus playing it safe. When you play it safe, it's like that's boring, right? A challenge arises and you say, "Oh, I don't want to do that." Like, what movie would you want to watch where the hero or the villain gets faced with a challenge and then they chicken out? They say, "No, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna go. Let's just go make dinner." Yeah, the self-care routine is it's an everyday thing, man. That's yeah. I mean, that's why the 1% journal is so, I believe, very potent for those that are truly open and willing to engage in it and lock in, because it don't matter what you did today. You have to reload tomorrow. And the cool thing is that even if you wake up, as long, like, again, it's just, sleep is a huge self-care issue, right? A lot of people are not sleeping well at all. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I can tell you, stress is one, alcohol is another, right? Alcohol really fucks up your sleep. Even THC use can, fuck up your sleep. But a lot of people are just overstressed. They're just worried. They're scared. When you're scared, when you're stressed, when you're feeling hopeless and helpless and lost and all these things, I mean, I think there's even just a lot of people that are just carrying around some real heavy shame and guilt within their conscience, knowing that they've just done some shady shit and they haven't taken ownership of it. They've just swept it under the rug and acted like, I'm just going to ignore it. And it's like, no, man, you got to face that shit. Right? You got to come clean with these things with yourself. You got to clear your conscientiousness. Like that tank should be complete transparency, crystal clear. Yeah, safe. Level 1 Mario. It's like level 1 Mario, but with no bad guys. Like there's nothing that can kill you. You just like, I think there's like a super, I don't know, some kind of code I remember where you can eliminate all the things that could kill you. So you can just run through it, and it's like, yay, the first time you're like, oh cool, look, there's no bad guys, yay. And then it's like, but then what happens when there's no bad guys? You stay stuck on that level for life, and it's like it's a fucking warp, man. You're just like, that's the broken record. That's the downward spiral. Playing it safe, right? And it's time to face fears. It's time to realize that there is a courageous version in you. We all have it. Every person on here has had to tap into some part of themselves that had to act bold and courageous, as I see 1010 right now. And yet, if you've used it once, just like anything, if you can do it once, you can do it again. But again, we forget. One of the biggest ways that I think people can get unstuck, but again, this takes some courage, is by trying new things. And they don't even have to be big things, little things, doing little tiny things. We can be so resistant just to trying new things. But I am here to tell you that the more new things that you try, the more new things that you're open to, right? The greater the inverse of that is going to be, where you are going to start having some breakthroughs, because you're going to start learning some things about yourself that you didn't acknowledge or even know was there, because you're doing new things. We're not talking about doing the same things. We're not talking about playing it safe. And I'm a perfect example of this. As with anything I talk about, it's like I will always shine the light back on myself and say, dude, I remember. I mean, I probably have lots of examples if I really think to it, but I used to be very resistant to change. I have a very stubborn spirit inside of me. I could be very, very stubborn. And I can see patterns throughout my life where I resisted, fought against doing the very things that I know deep down inside of me I needed to do. And once I had the fucking rock bottom moment and the clarity and the spirit of transformation to say, I can't keep living like this. I'm responsible for my life. It would be easy to blame everyone else, but I'm going to take responsibility and ownership, and I'm going to go get it done. And I'm going to have to try new things. I'm going to have to get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to have to ask for help when I don't want to ask for help. I'm scared to ask for help, because then I have to admit something's wrong with me. And if I admit something's wrong with me, that means that it's scary to know if the thing that's wrong with me can be fixed, or it can never be fixed. And then I'm stuck being this way for the rest of my life. It's all fear. It's all scared. Those are all some of the thoughts I was having 13 years ago. As we're getting ready to come in on the 13-year anniversary, July 22nd. That's my sobriety date. And those were all the thoughts that were running through my head. All that uncertainty, that stubbornness. But I had been broken, man. I had been fucking snapped into pieces, fragmented, and said, I had choices. I could hit Control Alt Delete and just give up, tap out. I could brush it off and keep fucking doing the same old bullshit and wait for even a worse catastrophe to happen. Or we get here. Clearly, this was the choice I made. Getting here. And I'm freaking grateful for that. I'm grateful. There's not one day that I wake up that I wish, man, fuck, it's hot. I've had a hard ass day at work, man. I should probably, I bet you it wouldn't hurt me. I mean, I'm an adult. I could go get a fucking beer or whatever. It's like, dude, what? I care about myself too much. It's not about having a beer. It's about what beer is. See, again, y'all don't want to admit that what alcohol is in the human body is poison. It's literally poison. It's a carcinogenic. It's poison. Ethanol is poison. Like, there's no exceptions for that. Your body is not any different. Any level of alcohol in your body is literally putting poison in your body. And yet, just because they use a lot of marketing to communicate that that's how you unwind, that that's how you have fun, that that's how you know, all the shit, man, that they put around how cool you are, how fun it is, how fucking sexy you are, you know, how manly you are, you know, got to get a beer. It's like, it's poison. They have to sell it to you like that, because if they were to say, drink this poison, right, people would probably like pump the brakes a little more on it. But look how easily manipulated people are. What happened during the pandemic? Everybody getting them fucking shots. Not here, man. Not here. I was like, no, no, no. No, no, no. We're not going to do that. Not going to do that. Even if you want to pay me to do it, we're not doing it. Nope. Something's not right. Something's not right. But yet, how many people? And then a lot of people, I had to do it. I had to do it. I'm like, no, you didn't. But that's a victim, right? That's the victim. I had to do it. You didn't have to do shit, right? You were afraid. That's why you gave in. And the sad thing is, that's a violation of universal law, because not from your aspect, but from those that are in charge. They will pay the price, right? You don't got to go and rush their offices. You don't, the price will be paid, because when you violate other people for your own gain, for control, for manipulation, for gain, whether it's for power, money, all the above, that's a violation. And yet that's all the shit that went down. I mean, it's control for profit, but you can't get to the profits if you don't have the power. They want power. And so it's good where we're at now, because more people are waking up, but we're still a ways off from getting over 50%. We need 50% of the whole globe, right, to shift. To literally go through the transformative process that I have done, and many others. I'm not the only person on this planet, but I know that I am definitely at the head of the pack, right? Because when you look at the masses, they're not even going in the right direction still, because they're so confused and distracted. And at the root of all that is fear, is being scared. Just flat out, people are fucking scared right now. We're just scared, not understanding what it all means, what it's all about. And I guess it's just a lot easier, right? Again, this is the hard path. There's a cool trail here close by, and you come to this sign in about a mile in, and it says steep route, easy route. Right? Any of you guess which route I've never seen? I've never seen the easy route. I don't care if it's in the winter, the summer, whenever it is. The easy route, it says easy route, steep route. It's not like, for me, there's a choice, but there's not. I'm always going to take the steep route. Right? Why? Because I look at every opportunity at that for me to get stronger. I see that with given a choice, easy route, steep route, which one will I get stronger from? Which one of these will I be a better version of myself? I mean, victim, it's the cool thing to do now, though. I mean, everyone is trying to run to the victimized pole, of like who can stack the most badges of victimization, whether it's your skin color, your race, your gender, your sexuality, your economic standing, I mean, it's fucking everything, man. I mean, we are so like filled with like who can be the biggest of biggest victims. Like, that's the competition right now. That's where the shine is like, man, I want to be the biggest. I want to be the biggest victim of all victims. Wait, you only have one victim category? I'm on 10. Oh, you only got 10? I got 15, man. I got 15 victim categories. You have no idea. You got it good, man. 10, I'm at 15. What? You only got 15? I'm at 30, bro. You got it good at 15 victim categories. Fuck. It's like, shit. What has happened to people? Why? Why? What is the psyche that says we are helpless? And just yelling and screaming and hatred and anger and signs that fucking contradict who we are. But we'll sit there, we'll stand there for 5 hours. People stand there for days, holding a sign and think that that's a really good use of their time and their energy. They'll think that that's making a difference on Main Street. Fuck. It is a brainwash, but it's all based on fear. It's fear. Why are people so mindless right now? Right? I mean, obviously, I'm practicing and preaching mindfulness, and it needs to happen every day. It's a big part of 1% Better Everyday Journal is for you to create a morning routine. Positive affirmations, journaling, breath work, sun gazing, grounding, just goal setting, reflecting, setting intentions for your day. It's like when you're just focused on on your lane, what is right there in front of you, and you're not worried about what the fuck is going on anywhere else. Do you know that that's when peace really starts to show up in your life? For those of you that are seeking inner peace, if you want inner peace, you need to stop looking at the outer chaos. You need to literally shut it off. All of the noise, all of the distractions. Go ghost, man. 6 months. Order yourself the 1% Better Everyday Journal Volume 1 and 2. Download the app. You don't even have to get on the other apps. You can literally 6 months just become a fucking hermit for transformation. You will be the baddest motherfucker out there in your community, in your wherever your neck of the woods is. If you were to take me up on that, I am not even being sarcastic. I am telling you, This is the shit that I have done. Not like 13 years nonstop, but there has been many stretches where it was like I said, I'm shutting all this off. The only thing that matters is what is right fucking here. It's it. The world will continue to just continue chaos and melting and winning and losing. What does it have to do with you? Nothing. Only you are adding. You are the one that gives it importance. You are the one that's giving it something. And guess what? It doesn't give it back to you. You give it importance. It doesn't give it back to you. You celebrate a team. They don't fucking celebrate you. What during 5 seconds they say we couldn't do this with all the fans. Yeah, they're right. They're being right. They couldn't be fucking multi-millionaires, double M's, right? Living the best fucking life without all of these people willing to sacrifice their lives to support athletes. They're being honest. Like, yeah, we couldn't do it without you. They're not talking about the chip. They're talking about the lifestyle to be able to do that. They are living their dreams because of you, because you're giving your energy into them, right? You're magnifying who they are. And if you start to put that energy, if your energy going to somebody else helps them win a championship, if you believe that, like you rooting, you cheering, yay, 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 you're a part of it, and then they win, and it's like you got to be a part of it. Could you imagine if you put that energy into your own personal life? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, all the things that you say you can't do, uh-oh, now you can do them, huh? Because you can help someone that you don't even know win a championship and call them your team, but you can't put all that energy to you and win championships for your own self, for your family, for those that count on you. You can't fucking level up, and you don't even have to know how. I just told you, man, like click on the link, man. Literally 1% better everyday journal. It's 6 months. 6 months of training. Just lock in 6 months. Right? You lock in right here for 6 months. Bonus pack, 1% better everyday journal. There's over 100 videos. It's 6 months, every single day, positive. You know, you're starting with positive affirmations. You're starting with setting goals, doing reflection, going through multiple lessons, right? Over what? How many lessons is that? Dang near 200 lessons of self-improvement. 6 months. Could you imagine that? And then you just like, you check out of all the other shit. What would you be on the other side of that? But how many of you are scared to pull the trigger on that and actually put yourself to the test? It's there. It's there. It's waving to you saying, hey, I know you've seen it. I know you checked it out, but why are you scared? Why are you scared? Why you want to play it safe, which isn't playing it safe, right? It's just being a coward. I've been a coward. But I know every time, I know that my evolution on this journey was just, I used to be really avoidant. I don't know, and I don't even know where that came from, but I would just always be avoidant. And I remember when I started to really get my awareness, becoming more and more self-aware, I would know that there was times that I just wanted to avoid stuff. I said, no, don't do it. Just keep going, dude. Just keep walking down this path, confront this person, say hi, whatever. And it was like, why was I afraid of that? That's so weird. That was the weirdest thing to be afraid of, but yet it popped up, right? And as I continued down the path, I would notice little shit like that, and then I started to string together patterns, and I would be like, wait, there's patterns here. Where is this coming from? Is it from last year, 5 years, or is this from like way back as a little kid? Being afraid, being scared, out in the world alone, right? Deeper rooted stories that we tell ourselves. And where a lot of people, if you're trying to figure out what this message is about logically, you're only going to get probably 5% of the message. It's not until you start hearing it at the soul level and like really just understanding that my soul and your soul are communicating right now. This isn't about logic. This isn't about making sense of things. It's about, are you resonating with this message? Does it connect with you? Are you feeling like there's something that you see in me that for some weird reason, you showed up here tonight, you've showed up here in the past, whenever you've connected, that something I say and something that you've experienced are similar, maybe even the same. They're relatable, and you're connecting with that, and you're being like, yeah. If you don't think that that's a sign and a synchronicity that you are meant to be here and that there's something more than just me fucking talking for you to get from this, that this is actually a vortex, a portal for you to start putting in work so that you can also transcend whatever the fuck it is that you're still holding on to, that you need to let go of. But there you are, still playing it safe, still skeptical, still doubtful, right? When it's right here. It's right here. resultskillexcuses.com. All you got to do is go to the shop, click on print products, click on here, pull the trigger, and I'll be all excited to ship that out to you with lots of love, lots of support, lots of transformation. These are incredible products. I'm doing all the videos and the lessons for volume 2 right now. And I'm sitting there with myself and I'm like, dude, I'm putting in a lot to this. This has a lot. This is a lot of fucking value. This is a lot of teaching and coaching and guiding and mentoring that is going into one lesson, 2 lessons. It's pretty incredible. Even if you wanted to see like, what do these lessons look like? I did add one of those there. You could watch it. I think let me see if it's here. I think if you click on this, yeah, watch this. This is like one of the lessons there. If you click on that, which is different than this, right? This is emotional healing. So this is me teaching about emotional healing, which is something that you would get in the journal. There's a prompt there. You watch the video and it basically coaches you through the lesson. There's nothing else like that. Nothing else like that. But that's an example. If you're like kind of interested in window shopping, right? Watch that video. And there's literally, in just volume 1 and 2, there's going to be probably over 100 videos. 100 videos. Which I'm not even sure how much that comes out to. It's probably 10 hours, 12 hours worth of just coaching, guidance, mentoring, encouragement. All the things that I wish, if it was 13 years ago, that were there for me. Because you talk about accelerating my healing process. This is it. This is what gets you on the express lane, not the quick fix, not the magic trick. You can definitely, and that's always been my goal. When I put these out there, when just sharing this message, my goal was to turn whatever timeline I'm on. So if it's 13 years, 14, beyond, is to be able to condense, right? The years that I've been doing this, turn it into weeks for you, right? Weeks, if not even months. Like, just condense the timeline that it's taken me to figure all this shit out, condense it in a way that helps you to expedite your process. Who does that benefit? It benefits both of us, right? I'm adding value, helping, and guess what? You're healing, growing, expanding, and giving yourself an opportunity to do whatever your dream is, whatever your goals are, whatever the things that that you're lacking confidence and courage to truly like step out in the spotlight away from the crowd, go upstream versus just down the fucking toilet, the shitter, and go and live an incredible life, like a genuinely aligned, happy life, not a shallow, surfacey trying to look like shit is good. There's a lot of fakers out there, man, trying to look like fucking, oh, my life is fucking pretty good, man. It's like you're miserable underneath the surface. That's the problem. I heard this. I was listening to I think it was Alex Hormozy, Chris Williamson podcast, 4 hours long. And it's like both those guys are going through really challenging life seasons in life. And you could tell that Hormozy's usually a fucking robotic guy, man. Just business, business, business. Fuck your feelings. Fuck morning routines. Now he's talking about getting into meditation and shit. You know what I mean? Because that shit has only gone so far. That even him, he's like, dude, my quality of life is not great. And he's on the way to becoming a billionaire. He's like super admired by a lot of people, but underneath the surface, that fucking do, fucking fuck my feelings. Like, I don't have time for that shit is catching up with him. And it's the process that I've been guiding right here, because I used to be like that too. And then I finally hit a rock bottom. And throughout this process, I've learned that I had to invert my whole way of thinking, which has been really challenging. To not just be 100% hustle and grind, to be more surrender and align. Surrender. It's like the scariest thing. Surrendering, man. It's like, ever since I was a little kid, like, surrender? What? You don't ever fucking surrender. Fight till the death. But I'm talking about surrendering to your pride, your stubbornness, your arrogance, your ego. Surrendering to that shit. Like, enough of that. Surrender all that shit out of your life. And align yourself with mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health, financial health. When you do that alignment, you're not just looking for the next get rich quick idea. You are saying there's something inside of you you're really passionate about, that no one else is going to believe in you, but yet you have a fire now because you have a vision, and you know that that vision was given to you as a gift from the divine. It is a part of your fulfillment on this planet. And they say the most richest place on this earth is the graveyard. Why? Because that's where so many dreams go to die. Are your dreams going to die in the graveyard because you were too scared playing it safe to actually start working on yourself, start healing your shit, right? Stop avoiding the heavy lifts, the difficult things, the hard stuff, the uncomfortable, and really just start to say, you know what? Like, there's never been a better time. People are deep down inside, I really do believe more and more people every day are looking, searching for something. It's unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that we still have a snake oil approach to doing things. And, you know, there's a lot of shiny things that are getting people's attention and probably breaking their spirits because they're running to it, hoping that it's going to be the thing that fixes them. And it's like, I've tried a lot of that shit. That's what got me here, is trying a lot of the shiny shit to try and see if I could get just a little bit of a shortcut, a little bit of just a little faster. And it's like, none of that shit worked. And then when I really vetted the person, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't really know if you're really about this. Like, I think you're just doing this because you watched a video about doing it. And so then you're repeating what you watched and creating it as like it's your content. I don't know. That shit kind of trips me out. when people go for that stuff. But there's some master manipulators out there. There's some master marketers out there. They will make shit sound fucking good to go. And I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out how to make it so irresistible that you can't say no to this because I believe in it that much. Like, I'm working on getting there. Right? I'm doing everything every day, doing it. It'll happen. Right? Right. It will happen. It's all falling together. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to be here sharing a message with you. I hope that you will give yourself an opportunity to really do some soul searching, see what you need to face about yourself, what fears are coming up. I've been seeing some people jumping out of airplanes. I always talk about that. If you have a fear for heights, you should go jump out of an airplane. If you got a fear of the dark, you should go and camp in the woods. If you are afraid of talking to people, you should go into public spaces and introduce yourself. It doesn't have to even just be opposite sex. If you're like super nervous, you should just go and introduce yourself, or at least just greet people when you're at the store. Hey, how you doing? Just with a smile. Hey, how you doing? But project your voice. Hi, how are you doing? If you're afraid to do this, right? If you're somebody that's just really isolated and not very social and it brings anxiety to you, go face that shit. Go to a place where you don't know anybody and just strike up conversation. Hey, how you doing? I like your shirt. Give someone a compliment. That's like the best medicine that melts people's hearts is when you like give them a compliment, unsolicited compliment, and there's no strings attached. Just, hey, who did I tell that to? Oh, there was a guy today. He had a cool like personalized plate. And it was said Red Wolf on it. And it caught my attention. I said, oh, that's a cool plate, right? And he was like, oh, thanks, man. He got so excited. I was like, dude, I like your plate. That's so cool. Right? It made his day. He was like, dude, oh, thanks, bro. Thank you. I love it. Go spread some joy in this world, especially if you're in your own pity party. Right? When you stay stuck in your pity party, y'all have heard me talk about the 10 steps to get out of the pity party when you're really down on yourself. If you're really down on yourself, if you're really feeling anxious, depressed, sad, lonely, just exhausted mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, step 1 is go do something for someone else and expect nothing in return. Random act of kindness. Go tip the total. It doesn't have to be for a $300 meal. It could just be for a fucking cup of coffee, right? It could be for anything. Could be for some tacos or fucking fast food, whatever the fuck. Go buy some old ladies groceries at the grocery store, right? Go give somebody that's sitting on a fucking median without judgment, go give them $100. Some of you are like, fuck, I wish someone would give me $100. We never know. See, this is how the world works. When you think you don't have, if the things that I just said challenge you, that's a good thing. But see, this is how the world works. The more you give, the more you receive. When you withhold, guess what? Your hands are closed, that you can't receive. Thus, this is another part of being stuck. This is being contracted. This is plain scared and not believing that if you give, you'll receive. If you give, you'll receive more. If you give more, you'll receive more. If you give a little, you get a little. But when you give nothing, right? In this world, what's interesting is even if you give nothing, you still get something. But a lot of times when you're giving nothing, that something that you get, you're ungrateful for it. And I've been there, right? Just as with anything I say, it's coming first person. There's been times where I've been really tight-fisted, really scared, really afraid, real scarcity mindset. I've had to reprogram all my shit to abundance. And it's like, and now it's just like, I get down on myself when I'm not even more generous. I'm like, wait, dude, what? How come you didn't give more? Give more. I see 144, right? This is a chosen message. This is a message for the chosen. It's time to quit living contracted. It's time to expand. Open yourself up, right? Step 1, to get out of your pity party, go do something for somebody else. That's a random act of kindness. If you don't have money to give, it doesn't have to be about money. Go volunteer. Ooh, go volunteer. Ooh, challenged. That's giving your time. That's giving your energy. Could be a soup kitchen, could be a food pantry, could be a homeless shelter. There's a gazillion places, nonprofits. They would love to have your talent, your energy, right? Volunteering for just an afternoon, for a whole day, for a weekend, right? I never hear about people doing that shit, man. And I'm the hugest advocate for that. So the way you get unstuck, get out of your pity party. Step 1, go do that. Step 9 through 10, repeat it 9 more times. So repeat step 1 9 more times. Go do it 10 times. Go do 10 random acts of kindness. Could be volunteering, could be helping somebody out, seeing a need in your neighborhood, in your community that you could address, right? And I told you guys this story with me, right? I turned a guy asking, a friend of mine that just put it out on social media. He asked for if anybody had a trailer to haul some rocks to a job site on a Friday afternoon. I turned me saying, I don't know, man. He'll find somebody, won't he? I turned me saying, yes, you know what? I'll help you, bro. I have a trailer and I have time. And I went and helped that guy, not expecting anything. He gave me $100, but I turned that one offering to help someone else in their time of need. To put it out there on social media, usually people are pretty desperate. They're like, they obviously don't have someone in their personal that they can call or text to say, hey, can you help me? They're literally seeking a fucking lifeline. And I turned that $100 into, I think the accumulation is probably $500,000, because that one little act then became like another 5 different things, then led to another thing that then led to like a 6-figure job that then helped me to purchase my ranch, which then, 5-star, just like it just keeps magnifying itself to this day, every day. More and more, just off of one thing that I said, hey, I'm going to help somebody at a time that might not be the best for me. But the thing is I would be full of excuses to say that I couldn't go help this guy right now. I have the trailer, and some of you need to be looking for these. Some of y'all see these things, but you ignore them. And I've been there. That's what I just said. I saw it. It was one of those things. Like a lot of times we just write off, but I got on the fucking app. I see this guy's post. It pops up and it's like, help. Does anybody have a trailer to help out for an hour with some rocks? And I saw it and I'm like, right away, I was like, fuck, I have a trailer and I have time right now, but I don't know if I want to go do that. It's like, I don't know if I want to. And there's probably plenty of other people. They'll help him. Someone's going to help him. And I even scrolled past it. I said, you know what? I don't know. And then it just sat with me. It said, dude, go help him. It's the still quiet voice, right? It was like, hey, go help him. Hey, you should be the guy to go help him. Go do it. And I sat there. I said, all right, I'll fucking help him. I reached out to him. He said, really, man, you would help me? I was like, yeah, dude, tell me where to go. And I went, did it, $100. That then fucking parlayed into probably over $500,000 now. I mean, we're moving, right? 100, like just one act. So y'all, when you're sitting there thinking, man, my life is terrible, nothing ever goes my way, it's like, dude, go do something. Action is what breaks you free. Action. That's the only thing. Thinking about it, wishing about it, watching it, hearing it, listening to podcasts, watching other people do the thing. None of that is you doing the thing. You got to go do the thing. You have to find the courage. You have to know that you need to go do the thing, especially when it hits you like that. You got to be paying attention. Right? I probably wouldn't have seen that if I was still buzzed out or whatever. Right? But I was clear-minded that day. And I said, all right, yeah, I'm going to help this dude. Who can you help? And what's beautiful, a lot of people don't realize this, but one of the secrets to helping out other people, write this down. This is the secret. Do you guys want to know the secret? The secret to when you help someone else out from a pure heart, and I hope this doesn't ruin it for you, but it does happen. Like, it's guaranteed to happen. When you help out someone else with a pure heart, like just wanting to do it, not feeling like you have to, you just like, I want to go help someone out. It helps you out. That's the secret. Like, when you go help other people, you get helped. You give, you receive. You give, you receive more. You give and give and give. You receive, you receive, you receive. Some like 10x, 100x, 1000x. So I hope that you will take me up on this call to action. 1% Better Everyday Journal, Volume 1 and 2. Signing off of social media for the next 6 months for the hardcore, true warriors that really want to transform their lives. But even just in the next week, how many times can you volunteer, do a random act of kindness, tipping the total, helping somebody out that has a need that you have the solution to, someone that has a problem that you can help solve, that could use your help. It's a beautiful thing to go do that. Go see what happens. Bring your stories back here. Don't forget to come back and share your stories here. I love hearing when people actually take me up on these things. Not because you have to. Don't have that fucking attitude. Oh, I have to go do this. I mean, even with your job, you don't have to go to your fucking job. You didn't have to get the shot. You don't have to fucking wake up in the morning if you don't want to, right? You need to start saying you get to. Life is a blessing. It's a gift. That's why it's called the present. It's a gift. Quit taking it for granted. You know the drill. Results. Kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it.